Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Even at my ripe old age of 69, I am still puzzled by a number of things. First, how come I can't motivate the unmotivated? Despite having had over 5,000 clients, career counseling clients, I remain puzzled by what may be a career counselor's central task, motivating the unmotivated. I've tried everything from unearthing past trauma to baby steps forward. And of course, I focus on the client's goals, values, and tactics that he or she believes will work best for him or her. Yet too many of my clients who come in with self-described low motivation too often leave insufficiently better. Second thing I'm puzzling about is, why do people so value the material? Beyond bare middle-class possessions, both data and logic indicate that buying more stuff doesn't increase happiness. Indeed, it often reduces it. For example, materialism reduces financial security and reduces the freedom to choose a job you'd enjoy more. After all, many jobs that pay well are less enjoyable and often less contributory than, for example, being a creative. Besides, materialism is like an addictive drug. You need to keep buying more and more expensive stuff to get shoppers high. It's a hedonic treadmill. Yet plenty of people shop till they drop. The game shouldn't be she with the most toys wins. It should be she who contributes most to society without being too self-sacrificing wins. The next conundrum I puzzle over: why do people so value status? Mercedes breaks down and needs servicing more often than does the much less expensive Toyota, yet many people choose to spend more for less. They spend on ho-hum private U over taxpayer-subsidized state U, even though data doesn't support better student outcomes or employment. They spend a fortune more for 3,000 square feet in a Tony neighborhood than for 1,500 square feet in a satisfactory one. You can buy dozens of Casio watches, which keep time at least as accurately as a Rolex, Cartier, and so on, for the cost of one of those. Why? Status. The silly feeling that it makes them more worthy and that it'll impress people. Fact is, people worth worrying about are more likely to think less of you for overspending on status. My next puzzlement: why do so many people hate so many men? Sure, there are outlier miscreant men, the well-publicized boors, doofuses, and sleazebags. But there's no gender barrier to loserhood. We all know women, as well as men, who deserve significant opprobrium. Yet it seems that men are today's main arrow catchers. That, despite men doing much good for the world. You might want to see my article, I think it's called Men Reinvented or something like that, and then Psychology Today. Google Men Reinvented Psychology Today, you'll find it. Anyway, then again, maybe I'm just some ignorant mansplainer. My next puzzlement: why are so many people resistant to behavioral genetics? We readily acknowledge that plants and animals have inborn characteristics. Indeed, we hybridize to obtain, for example, better tasting tomatoes. With regard to humans, we readily acknowledge genetics' role not just in height and eye color, but in, for example, predisposition to diseases, from depression to cancer. And informally, most moms of two or more children know that from day one, each of her kids has a distinct personality. Some even feel that in utero. Yet a surprising number of people assume that the laws of nature are somehow suspended when it comes to behavioral characteristics, such as intelligence, impulse control, drive, and altruism. Of course, environment matters, but just as few people would bet that a well-tuned VW Beetle would beat a poorly tuned Ferrari, should we fight with one arm tied behind our back in trying to improve people's motivation, impulse control, their reasoning ability? Of course, we're a long way from having an intelligence quote-unquote pill, let alone an altruism pill, but shouldn't we applaud that research on those factors that are underway, as long as ethics are kept primary? For example, like most medical treatment, should such a pill be subsidized for the poor, and it must certainly be completely voluntary. My next musing: why do many of my clients get so emotional about politicians? Money not only corrupts politicians, but it's used to manipulate voters with Madison Avenue sophistication. The result is that we end up choosing our leaders as much based on their focus group tested marketing strategy as on who would most wisely lead us. Even for local offices, many candidates must run a 4-year press the flesh campaign, complete with fundraiser after fundraiser, in which they must suck up the potential donors they dislike. That precludes the best people from running. Wouldn't society be better if money were completely eliminated from politics? Campaigns limited to 3 weeks, 2 televised debates, and a widely disseminated voting record and policy platform for each candidate that was created by a neutral body such as Consumers Union. Those are the folks who put out Consumer Reports. Why doesn't the public clamor for something like that, rather than just arguing about who to pick from among people who, well, might not be our wisest leaders? And finally, a final conundrum for me is, why need we waste so much time on income tax? Even as a mere one-person business, a career counselor like me, we go through so much effort in record keeping and preparing tax returns. Wouldn't it be wiser to replace the income tax with a consumption tax, with basic items exempted and luxury items taxed heavily? Not only would that save us all a great deal of effort, taxing consumption would be green, less stuff made and less stuff needing to be disposed of. All of us have things that puzzle us. And in the comments section, I welcome your sharing what puzzles you. I'm Marty Nemko. And as well, of course, I welcome your thumbs up or thumbs down, your sharing on social media, and your subscribing. Again, I'm Marty Nemko. I do thank you for watching.